This internet computer chart is one of the ugliest across cryptocurrency, and that is exactly why I am buying a big in ICP today, and I have been over the past few days. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what is going on with ICP and why we really need to be alerted to projects like this that don't appear to really be doing anything, because ICP has the ability to change the entire crypto ecosystem and is probably one of the biggest name projects out there that you've probably never even realized. Hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now, I first of all want to talk about why I'm talking about ICP today. This guy, Jerry Banfield, has been making a few crypto videos recently about ICP, and he alerted me to the fact that people were watching his ICP videos. Me, as a YouTuber who also made ICP videos over the last couple of months, have realized that my ICP videos are still getting lots of views during this super boring, bearish time in the market. So why on earth is that? Well, during these times where the markets are very quiet and very boring, you get kind of a few different people in the crypto space. Most of the new people who aren't really sure much about what's going on with crypto will focus more heavily towards the crypto projects that have been pumping recently because they like to follow the shiny objects. And the shiny object right now, as we know, is Casper, and I covered that in yesterday's video. And I'm still getting lots of people being really offended in the comments, telling them that their Casper girlfriend's going to pull back on them. However, ICP isn't really doing anything, and yet we're still getting lots of people watching. That's because there is also in the space, not the cloud chasers, but also a lot of people who are very astute and have done a lot of research and understand the power behind certain crypto projects and will delve deeper into them. I just want to point out that Casper is a really solid project, okay? I just think that now the chart right now is overinflated. That's all I'm getting at. Now, going back to internet computer, let's have a brief look at what it is, because to the untrained eye, it's just another layer 1 like Solana or Ethereum or Polkadot or whatever else, but it's not. The internet computer is basically the idea of the future internet, okay? Allowing Web3 services to run 100% on chain. Now, what does this look like? To put it very simply, when I use my computer or when I use my phone, I'm consistently accessing an app or accessing a website and having to use stuff that's downloaded onto my computer or my phone in order to be able to access that ecosystem. This is slower, it's centralized, and it's more expensive. And that's because the traditional Web 2 internet is built using cloud services. Now, what is a cloud service? A cloud service such as Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud are basically there to provide you with the internet. Websites and web applications are built on those cloud services. This is obviously highly centralized, and each year these companies collect in excess of $1 trillion. Who would have thought that Amazon actually made more money from you going and buying different things on Amazon? This is obviously a problem. It's extremely expensive. It's extremely centralized, and these companies, of which there's like 4 or 5, basically have the complete monopoly and control of the internet. They can share data, they can do all sorts of different things, which is perhaps not so good for us as people who use the internet. So I want you to think of internet computer as like a stack. Okay, we're going to start from the bottom and we're going to work our way up to just get a little understanding of how it works. Standardized hardware devices called node machines, which look apparently a bit like this, are from different centers, different geographies, different jurisdictions around the world. These provide and run the hardware to earn tokenized rewards. So kind of think of them like mining machines. So by holding these, people are going to be paid rewards in the ICP or internet computer tokens. Then on top of that, you've got these subnet blockchains. Now, the ICP protocols combine node machines into highly efficient subnet blockchains, which add capacity for hosting tamper-proof canisters. Okay, canisters is the keyword that we need to focus on next. Now, canisters effectively are what developers build smart contracts onto, and they basically pay to use these different canisters in ICP tokens. They have to stake their ICP tokens in order to host these decentralized applications. The internet computer means basically you have the ability to log in to the computer, the global computer of the world, and interact with it through using these little trendy canister things. And I just want to jump back and look at the charts. Now, a few people will come and tell me in the comments down below, ICP is a scam because ICP did this on launch. Look at it. Look at that 1 week candle right there. Now, you have probably been around in crypto long enough to realize who our friend Sam Bankman-Fried, or not so much friend, is. This guy worked for an exchange. Lie. Okay, this guy had an exchange, or was the CEO of an exchange called FTX. the second biggest exchange in the world after Binance. And you're probably aware he did some pretty shady stuff. Now, when FTX collapsed, this is what happened to Solana. It fell like 70% in a week. And you're like, what does this have to do with Solana? We're talking about ICP. Hold your horses. Jumping back to ICP. Well, as we know, Solana fell very hard because of SBF and FTX. Why? SBF was heavily invested in Solana. That's no shade at Solana. Solana is top quality and you know I love it, okay? But he did hold a very big portion of Solana. So he was effectively incentivized to try and push the Solana project. He wanted Solana to do well because if Solana did well, so did he. So what does that mean for us? Well, it meant that other competitors for Solana, of which ICP is one, posed a bit of a threat to Sam Bankman-Fried and his ability to potentially see some gains from his Solana investments. So when ICP first launched, our good old friend SBF decided to do something pretty sneaky. He bought a load of contracts to push the price of ICP astronomically high. And once it reached a certain value, and as you can see from this price chart, it reached all the way up to something like $3,000 or $2,800, he then did something pretty ruthless and he sold the lot. What did this do? It caused a massive snowball effect. So all those people who were like waking up one day, who've been buying at ICO, initial coin offering and everything else, have been like, oh my god, ICP is absolutely booming, let's buy into it, like everyone does when they see nice juicy green candles, and they saw it rally, and then guess what? FTX dumped all their contracts, it then plummeted the price. From the top, ICP in 1 week fell like 92%. And then you can see it continued to kind of sell off and people continued to lose faith in it, thinking that it wasn't really going to go anywhere. And then obviously we get into kind of bear market territory and then ICP continues to struggle. So why does this happen? Well, once the big money starts to get out of the top projects, effectively, most of the other altcoins and everything are just propped up by retailers. Right now, most projects are propped up by retailers. Retailers don't tend to have access to the information that all the big banks and everyone else has access to. However, Internet Computer has survived through this space, but is still struggling to get back on track because right now, the only people really who are kind of in or at least making noise in the crypto space are the retail investors. The retail investors aren't really moving so much in some of these different projects, but I guarantee you that the accumulation of big money goes on during times of this stuff playing out on the charts. As you see here, guys, I did say that this looked like a good buy zone for ICP. The market has continued to push sideways. ICP has then continued to push lower, currently sat at around $2.9. That means if we get a push back to highs that we saw earlier on this year, you'll see 185%. Now, it's highly speculative and it's obviously more risky to invest in these projects that are lower down in terms of market caps. And we will look at the market cap later on. But you will see from this chart that ICP does a lot along the lines of what Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies do. I think ICP is heavily undervalued because of that shady game that SBF played. And therefore ICP is one of the most promising projects in crypto and right now is sat in like a number 30 something position on CoinMarketCap. And as you can see, it launched with over a $50 billion market cap and it currently sits with a market cap of $1.3 billion. Can we see a return to $50 billion? Bearing in mind Ethereum during the last bull market hit a market cap somewhere in the $500 billion range. Do I think Internet Computer has the ability to go into the $500 billion range? Not in the next bull market, because realistically speaking, it's currently got a lot of ground to recover from. But I do believe that the upside potential for this project, bearing in mind where it should be and where it currently is probably one of the biggest differences compared to any project out there. ICP shouldn't be a $1 billion token. Right now, realistically, I think it should be sitting around $5 billion, okay? Which means it's about a fifth of the price it should be right now. And that's where it is right now and where it can go in the future. Realistically speaking, I think a 50 to 100x is possible potentially with ICP. So where does the risk lie? Well, if Bitcoin continues to slide lower and lower and lower, ICP will continue to slide lower and lower and lower, and eventually it will get pulled out of this funk. But will Bitcoin continue to slide lower and lower? Well, I personally don't think so. Now, there's so many things out there that are pointing to the fact that the Bitcoin volume, trading volume, is pretty much the lowest it's been since before like 2015. This is indicative of a very, very big move coming. where on earth would the next move be? And lots of people are calling for this big move to be towards the downside. But as we look into this chart here from El Crypto Prof, I'm still very much of the belief that we are about to see a retest and a break towards the upside. Now, why am I of this belief when there is a lot of bearish stuff out there in comparison? Well, yes, we are basically hanging in the balance. A break below this level at around $25,000, which is sat just under these lines here, you would see a fall at least down towards this area of interest here. Now, if it falls below there, you're back to the lows that we saw earlier on this year, which a lot of people are waiting for. And a lot of people are waiting for it. Now, when a lot of people are waiting for something, that tends to mean a lot of people are wrong. Or at least they're going to be wrong because it's not going to happen. Now, something caught my attention earlier watching an Altcoin Daily video, and it was very, very interesting to see. He mentioned this story. Chase, which is part of JP Morgan, Chase UK is to block cryptocurrency, citing frauds and scams. JP Morgan is the world's biggest bank. Now, this company is now starting to release news saying that you can't buy crypto anymore because it's full of frauds and scams. Well, that's interesting. Now, I want you to think, maybe I'm too cynical, but the banks are saying that you have no longer control of your own money to go and invest in cryptocurrency. This is a very big, scary story. This is telling you, well, why would I want to invest in crypto right now? It doesn't seem safe. It doesn't seem like something we should be doing. This comes from a bank that did this on the 13th of September 2017. They released an article, over 6 years old, as you can see here, saying Bitcoin is a fraud that will blow up, says JP Morgan boss. Jamie Dimon said this on September the 13th, 2017. Now, he basically said at this time that it was only being used by drug dealers, murderers, and other people living in North Korea. And it later turned out that at this very time, JP Morgan was investing in crypto. He even announced that he'd told his bankers that if they'd been investing in cryptocurrency, they would be fired because crypto was a scam. This news article caused the market or Bitcoin price to dip 24%. And because I'm a good bloke, I've gone back and I've found you what happened on that very day. Here we are, the 13th of September, around this week. You can see that this is the JP Morgan story that went on. This is the time that JP Morgan was buying crypto, and at the same time they're telling everyone that it's a lie, it's a scam, it's total BS. Now, if you've been in crypto long enough, you'll know or start to realize by now, if you're subscribed to my channel, which hopefully you are, that when a big bank or someone tells you this news story, you should probably be like, I'm going to do the opposite. Which is why I'm kind of fearful of this like BlackRock ETF stuff right now, because lots of people are really bullish and excited about that. But, you know, when that drops, maybe we move the other way. Who knows? Such is life. But right now, guys, look at what happened here. After that happened, that news announcement came, Bitcoin rallied and did what? A 5x. Now look at this, guys. This was weekly chart. You can see it pushed up and kind of was like going sideways for a bit, slow dip down. Okay, right now, Bitcoin has done something very interesting in that it's moved up and it started to go sideways. It's come back down. It's just going, not much happening. Okay. This is the point in the market where everyone's lost interest. Lots of people are starting to get fearful and starting to get shaken out. So if you're a big bank right now and the price is low and you want to buy, how do you stop the price doing this? Because if they buy too much, too quickly, this happens. This happens. How do you stop it happening? Well, you have to get people to sell in order for you to buy and the price to stay the same. How do you do that? How do you create this liquidity for you to be able to enter silently through the back door? Well, you have to create FUD or fear about something happening. And that, I believe, is what is going on. And this particular news article gets me a little bit excited. The more stuff we hear about recessions and crypto collapses and everyone telling you that it's going to go towards the downside, the more I get a bit excited. If Bitcoin rallies, then you're potentially never going to get the chance to buy ICP at this level again. And it's not like saying that with like people who are talking about that with like Casper or whatever else, like, oh, you never get a chance to buy at this level again. You probably will, because those projects are up 250x this year. Whereas ICP is just dying and dying and dying and dying towards the downside. Effectively, you have to believe, given the tech, given the team behind ICP, given that it's still got a crazy, crazy amount of funding, the ICP isn't going to go to zero. And if it doesn't go to zero, you're just getting a juicier and juicier chance to buy in. Look at it, guys. It looks dead. That's why I buy it, okay? I buy it when other people are scared to buy it, because that's when you make the most money. You don't make money when everyone else is telling you it's going to go to the moon. You make money when everyone else is telling you it's going to go to zero. And this is why I'm excited. Anywhere under this green zone is like ultra discount. From this green zone, you're down, 16, 17%. Looks pretty good. ICP has the ability to turn around 1 week and be back at $5. Okay, I think it could be closer than you think. Okay, all hanging in the balance with Bitcoin. But right now, if you're really like not sure about where to head, this is not me telling you to buy anything, but personally, I go towards the cryptocurrencies that have taken the most pain, that will survive in the next bull market. And not just survive, but thrive. Where ICP goes in the future, well, I said earlier that we could see a 50x. Is it possible to see a $50 billion to $100 billion market cap? I don't see why not. This can't go to $100 billion. Will that mean it goes to $200 a token? There's potential for that happening. Is it going to go back to these all-time highs at any point soon, guys? I can't see it happening in the next bull market, but maybe later down the line it might happen. But I don't care about the bull market after the next one, because I'm going to be out of this next bull market top. And if you want to get out as well at the right time, then you should also be subscribed. And if you're there being like, I don't know where to buy ICP because I'm new to crypto and it's all very confusing, well guys, go across to MEXC, link down below in the description. Now, there's a very big reason I want to push MEXC, not just because they sponsor me and maybe I might make 10 cents if you go and buy $1 billion of ICP. MEXC offers ICP. It also offers pretty much more tokens than any other exchange. It does 0% fees. Zero. Okay, that means that when you're buying and selling something, you're trading USDT into Bitcoin, it's going to cost you 0% in fees. Unbelievable. Okay, unbelievably cheap exchange with the most tokens out there. Also, it's non-KYC. So if you're from America or somewhere else and you struggle with know your customer and having to provide passport details and all that good stuff, well, you can use MEXC and you don't have to do it. This means you can be under the radar, not being looked at by anyone else. And if you're like, well, I can't do that because I can't access it in my country, well, then you need to be using NordVPN, which again is linked down below in the description. And if you buy this, maybe I can buy myself a coffee next week at some point, because I will get a little bit of a kickback because it does sponsor my channel. But guys, you can get NordVPN per month for less than a cup of coffee. You get 4 months free if you use that link down below in the description, and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't like it. What a VPN does is it protects you against hackers and scammers who could be watching you at any time while you're trading cryptocurrency. So if you want to trade cryptocurrency securely, you need to protect yourself by using double encryption, which NordVPN uses. This company provides millions of people around the world with VPNs. It is the biggest and best VPN service. As you can see, I'm currently unprotected because I'm not using it. But if I want to access MEXC securely, all my wallets and all that good stuff, then I use NordVPN. It protects me from malware, tracker blockers, ad blockers, and all that good stuff. But not only that, guys, but as someone who lives in the UK, if I want to go and watch like Suits on Netflix, which is only on like American Netflix, well then I can use this VPN to go and access American Netflix. Your world of Netflix is going to get blown wide open as you enter into global Netflix domination. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Hit the like button. If you're new, then subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.